Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. It's your girl Denise with Real Life with Denise, and today we're going to talk about being intentional. Are you ready to have that conversation? If so, stick around because we get ready to get into it. Okay, so I know that not only me, but several people say, you know what, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z today. I'm going to call this person today. And we don't do it. Now, I know for me that I have made a New Year resolution, or I have made it a point to say that in 2025, I am going to make sure that I am intentional. And that means intentional in all things. That means in friendships, my relationship with my family, work, my goals, because y'all know that it is so easy to get distracted. I don't know how many times that I have went to the grocery store and said, you know what? I'm going to the grocery store and I'm going to get a salad. I'm going to get a steak. I'm going to get potatoes. And I come out the grocery store with chips, cookies, my favorite juice, and forget about all the things that I went into the store to get, right? Because I wasn't intentional in getting the things that I said I was going to get. So being intentional doesn't just mean calling your friends and calling your family, all the things. It means everything that you are doing in your life. That means making an effort to make sure that you want to change the things or be the change you want to see, right? Because we all know that in this world, y'all, things are happening over and over and over again. And you will always, and what's the one thing that people say when something tragic happens? They say, I wish I would have, I should have did it this way, right? So instead of having to say those things, how about not go ahead and just be intentional from the start? We all know that we also have goals we want to reach, right? I don't know what your goals. I know some of my goals are to make sure that I am intentional about posting my content every day. I have gotten, in 2024, I got very, very sidetracked, even to the point where a break, I end up stopping. I don't like to use the word quitting because quitting means that you're never going back to it, right? But even my break wasn't intentional, right? And when I say that in that form, I mean, I took the break, but I didn't make sure that I set a timeline of that break to get back to my business. I took the break and I really never looked back. And then when I decided to jump back in, it was like crickets. I didn't hear from anybody. Nobody was hopping on my lives because I didn't set an intentional date to let people know, hey, I'm taking this break. I'll be back here, right? And so when I talk about intentionality, if that's even a word, I mean making sure that you are the people that you love, the things that you do, the job that you have, that you are intentionally putting in that effort so that way you can see results. Now, we all know if we work a 9 to 5, sometimes we do not want to go to work. Like we just don't want to go. We ain't feeling it today, whatever, right? But we need to be intentional while we are there. That means getting tasks done on time. That means responding to that email that you may not want to respond to, but you have to because it's part of your job and you're making an intentional effort to do the work, right? So when I talk about being intentional, I mean make sure that you are really, really making an effort into doing the things that you want to do in your life. And like I mentioned before, with my content creating, there may be some other people on here that's watching this video who are dying to be a content creator, but you have to be intentional. You have to be intentional about when you're going to post. You have to be intentional about how you want to post. You have to be intentional about what platform that you want to focus on, right? Because I'm telling you, intentionality, if that's a word, stick with me here, okay? Because breeds consistency, breeds results, okay? Being intentional yields and breeds consistency and yields and brings results, right? If you are just doing stuff just to do it and you don't care about it, then it's just like, if you don't care, nobody else is going to care. But if you have a friend that you haven't talked to in 3 weeks and you're intentional about reaching out to them, then that friend may feel like, you know what, this person cares. They actually took the time. We haven't talked in a couple of weeks. They made sure to call and make sure I'm okay. And if you are not a person who likes to be on the phone, then shoot a text message, right? Send on social media, send them a Facebook message, because there are some people who don't really like to be on the phone, and there are people that really, really live by text, right? But Intentionally tell, if most people tell their kids and their significant other or whoever, their mom or whatever, that they love them all the time, right? But if you know that you haven't done that in a couple of days or weeks because life be life, and intentionally call them and say, hey, I love you, just checking in, yada, 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 right? But always make sure moving forward, if you can, because life does life, right? And we do forget about the little simple things. It can be as simple as, if we're, on this health, like me, trying to be better with my eating habits, being intentional about drinking that 8 ounces of a cup of water a day, being intentional about getting the protein that I need. And that doesn't mean going to get a hamburger. That means being intentional about how I want to change my health and how I want to live moving forward. Because they always say health is wealth, right? And so you want to be healthy. You want to have positive relationships. You want to have a peace of mind. And in order to achieve that, being intentional is really, really the way to go. And even with your posting, be intentional about what you post. If there's something that you're passionate about, we see a lot of fluff on social media. We see a lot of people going through drama. There are people genuinely trying to really, really give positivity in the world. And you can be intentional in engaging in that content. Also, Jim, engaging with other people after you post something is going to help build your algorithm, and it's going to help build your social media platform. You see how all this is tying together? Intentionality yields consistency, yields results. I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know, because I know for a fact that when I'm not intentional and when I'm not putting effort, my results are horrible. Horrible. And people say, oh, all you need is consistency. That's part true. That's part true. Yes, you need to show up every day and you need to make sure you're putting in that effort, but you also need to make sure that you're thinking about the things that you are doing, that you are thinking about how I'm going to say this. Even when you're talking to people, you don't always agree with what people think or their opinions, but when you respond, be intentional about slowing down, thinking about what you're going to say, take out the emotion, and then articulate whatever it is. Because a lot of times that when we are heated and we're mad, we don't walk away. We go toe to toe. We go back and forth. And what does that yield? Negative results. They don't always yield positive results because everybody's trying to be heard. Everybody wants their voice to be out there and everybody's trying to get their message across. But if we're intentional, if we're the ones, how they say, we got to be the bigger person. If we're intentional enough to say, you know what, I'm going to walk away. I'm going to step away for a minute because I know that you're heated, I'm heated. Or if you're intentional to say, you know what, that's your opinion. However you feel is how you feel, and step away. That is going to bring about a different type of result. Now, sometimes it can go on the negative side, and most of the time it will go on the positive side because you're allowing that person or you're allowing yourself to step away, calm down, breathe. That's all about being intentional. So I'm here to tell you that when we talk about being intentional, I need you to do that in every area of your life, even with the kids, baby, because I know if you have children, kids will aggravate your whole soul. They ask you for something every other day, every other minute, every other hour. You just can't catch a break, right? But we got to be intentional. And usually every parent is intentional when it comes to their kids. Now, we might be intentional in the way we say, no, you're not getting it, right? But a lot of times that is coming out of love. But we can work on how we talk, how we word things, and again, how we do things in our everyday life. And I promise you, if you start being intentional, if you start slowing down and you start taking care of you and how you want to move and how you want your life to be, you will see a difference. So I hope that this message resonated with you. I hope that moving forward, that you take baby steps and that you be intentional in certain areas of your life. The areas of your life that you feel like you can work on, start there, make a list, be intentional, and I promise you will see results. If anything in this video resonated with you and you've gotten this far in the video, please make sure you hit that button down below. I would love to have you a part of my family, my community. You have watched Real Life with Denise, and until the next video, you guys have an amazing rest of your day, your week, your month.